it appears that President Trump is still considering what exact measures the U.S. will do in order to impact policy change in Iran. And I'm also not entirely convinced that President Trump has made a decision to remove the regime. As we saw in Venezuela, he may actually opt for a model where the leadership is removed, but the regime remains intact. We will see in the coming days what the real decision will be. And I'm also thinking that the 25% tariff measure will also be clarified in the coming days. Sometimes President Trump is making the statements prior to consultations with his advisors, and this may be one of those occasions.
It's interesting to also hear the perspective of the UAE Minister of Foreign Trade here, because from a Gulf perspective, it appears the UAE is really caught in the middle here as both a US ally and an Iranian trading partner. Your reaction to his comments earlier?
Absolutely. What we have been trying to communicate to the government of the United States is that the UAE is a frontline state and that the United States should understand the situation and the predicament that countries like the UAE find themselves in. Because if there is going to be retaliation from Iran, that may not be directly against the United States or against Israel, that may actually be against the states, and it may be against the oil infrastructure of all these countries. Therefore, the United States should perhaps make exemptions when it comes to 25% extra tariffs.
Let me ask you about the implications across the Gulf as well. The Wall Street Journal also reporting today that Iran's Arab rivals across the Gulf, of course, led by Saudi Arabia, have been lobbying Washington against any military strike on Tehran. Now, of course, we know the president has been considering his options here. We've already seen economic measures being announced, including these tariffs. The president now perhaps considering military strikes against Iran as well. It would appear, at least according to the Wall Street Journal reporting, that that is not something that leaders in the Gulf would like to see. Ali, what does that tell us right now about the regional risk calculus when it comes to what the president might do next?
Their calculation is perfectly understandable because we have had many theoreticians and analysts of the Revolutionary Guard openly saying that should Iran be attacked, not even by the United States, but by Israel, Iran should retaliate not against Israel, but against the Arab neighbors and their oil infrastructure. They believe that President Trump and Vice President Vance are very vulnerable, particularly when it comes to the price of gas at the gas stations here in the United States. Therefore, the only way that they can impact and shape policy in Washington and in Israel is by threatening the flow of oil out of the Persian Gulf and by impacting the price of oil. These debates have taken place among the officers and analysts of the Revolutionary Guard, and the neighboring countries are aware of these analyses.